Recognizing that your inner state is the most crucial factor in any situation, no matter what it may be, is essential. Dissatisfaction, as the Buddha described, is the universal experience that underlies much of our suffering. One of the practices for the next 6 months is to refrain from resisting the present moment, especially your inner experience. Of course, there will be times when you forget this practice, and that's okay. It's a natural part of the process. When you realize you've lost sight of it, the moment will present itself again. Rather than feeling upset about not embracing the present as it is, try to accept it as it comes. You might start to notice, for example, an unexplained sadness creeping in. In that moment, rather than dismissing it, ask yourself, where is this coming from? It is an invitation to recognize that at this very moment, you may have failed to fully accept and embrace your experience. The next step is to embrace the misery. The strangest thing about being unhappy is that it doesn't last long if you acknowledge it fully. To put it mildly, it dislikes. In reality, it is incompatible with tolerance. That's when the strange part starts, because you can say, okay, I'm unhappy. Yes, it's all right. Despair is something I can handle. The unhappy person asks, what's going on? That is not meant to occur. Laughter from the audience. When you accept something, your misery will quickly fade away. Even if it means embracing sadness rather than wallowing in it, that's still acceptance. Now, being conscious that you're unhappy is a prerequisite for accepting your sadness. It may sound natural, but that's not the case. There are millions of miserable individuals in the world, and those people do in fact have good reasons to be unhappy. The most compelling reasons for being unhappy often come from the most unexpected places. People who seem to have it the worst are actually the most miserable. There are millions of people who have it worse. It happens frequently. So when the misery is acknowledged and accepted for what it is, it undergoes a transformation. The dissolving process starts. On the other hand, those who are truly miserable tend to identify so closely with their misery, which is a product of a combination of particular negative ideas and narratives that keep popping into their heads. My life, oh dreadful thing, my life, oh, is a possible opening line in a story that describes my life. Why did everything go horribly wrong? At this point, I am helpless. Alternatively, if the story is about someone else, do you know what he did, what she said and did? The story could be describing an event that has not occurred yet, and it continues indefinitely. Or it's about something that occurred long ago, or not so long ago. There is a storyline then. At the other end of the spectrum are feelings that mirror the story. The story is a collection of ideas, specific ideas that occur at regular intervals. Oh, the audience giggles. Then the emotional frequency is aroused because your body believes the story in your head is true. What you're seeing is the truth. This causes an emotional response in the body. An easy example would be if you suffer from chronic insomnia due to excessive worry about the future of yourself, your loved ones, even the entire planet. Everything comes across as highly critical. A crisis is occurring within you, not in the outside world. You have a pillow on top of your head and a blanket, maybe even a down duvet, to keep you warm and cozy, and there's complete joy there. Could you please point out where the discontent is located in the bedroom? The plant is doing fine. It isn't sad. No, everything is taking place inside. Because your physical form is your primary sense of reality, it will tell you that something is wrong with you. If you're thinking about something, your body will interpret it as happening in the actual world. You believe what's happening in your mind to be fact. After that, you feel all the feelings that accompany that type of story. Therefore, consciousness is absent. When you're ensnared in it, you become the misery, so you don't even realize it. You are now defined by your misery. So, to use a Buddhist term, suffering, when you give into misery, you lose awareness that you are suffering. Because this suffering becomes such a massive and integral component of your identity, you become oblivious to the fact that you are suffering while you are in this profound anguish. Your existence is marked by anguish. Every therapist knows that when their client or patient is finally at a position where they may be able to break free of their unconscious patterns, they will likely encounter significant resistance. This happens when a person experiences a profound fear of losing a crucial aspect of their identity. It can be the defining feature of who they are at times. They resist change because they haven't been able to let go of an unsatisfactory self-perception for a long time. They are blissfully unaware of this. To reiterate, a sign of awareness would be if they could say something like, "I do not want to let go," but they never do. Millions of people are still mired in the dreamlike condition of not being fully present and aware of their surroundings. But awareness is present the second you become aware of your own inner condition. Through you, a new level of awareness, one that is more profound and unconditioned, has arisen. Unconditioned consciousness, presence, or awareness are some names for it. Then the prospect of independence becomes real. You start to become aware of your internal states as they occur from this place. You are aware of and able to experience your sadness. You stop feeding your misery with thoughts the second you become conscious of it. As long as you don't pay attention, your thoughts are fueling it, and it becomes a vicious cycle. You get stuck in a vicious loop where your narrative leads to greater misery, and your misery leads to more thinking. Try to keep track of how you're feeling inside for at least the next 6 months. In spite of the fact that the next 6 months are not going to be problem-free, you must remain resilient in the face of whatever comes your way. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters most is that you are aware that your inner condition dictates your response. Keeping tabs on your own experiences should be your first priority. You should incorporate whatever happens to you into your practice so that you are no longer affected by outside forces. Your emotional and mental well-being are not going to be totally dictated by the outside world anymore as time goes on. There is a liberation within. Awakening, indeed. It entails detaching oneself from the ebb and flow of ideas and feelings. One can take a step back. There's nothing you're trying to hide. You're giving it permission, but that permission is contingent upon your level of awareness. In the end, that self-awareness is you. Here we have what I sometimes refer to as the deep I, as contrasted with the surface I. This I here is a metaphor for awareness, or consciousness, and we are also discussing the pronoun I here. On the outside, there is the conditioned self, the thing you inhabit temporarily. I am consciousness at my core. You may have heard me reference the ocean as an analogy I often use. What we see as the ocean's surface is actually just a wave or ripple. A profound I lies at the bottom of the ocean. A person's awakening is like a wave breaking the surface of the water, which was previously thought to only exist in the horizontal plane of the ocean. In its view, each ripple is only another, not me, but another. For this reason, the ego seeks out people who are completely unlike it. After a while, the tiny ripple starts to notice that there's depth. As soon as it ceases to consider its own existence in relation to the ripples, its thoughts fade away, and just presence persists. Something profound, shapeless, and unnameable is this. All it is a presence. To express your gratitude for going on this journey with me, please hit the like button if you found it meaningful. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you're looking for more motivational articles and videos. In the middle of all the mayhem, let us find the wonders as we keep digging into these riddles.